because I remember like a few years into it, I was talking about how like everybody used to close it out. You know, when you're an early comedian, you
Yeah.
always want to close it out. Like, let me go last. Can I close? You know. But then I started getting upset about it because she said, "Oh, well, I don't know," because some of the people who was closing it out, I was like, I started with these people, or they've been doing it about the same amount of time. Why did they get to go last? You know, but
Yeah.
she took she she found out I was lazy. Like I was
Oh,
lazy in the writing and stuff like that. Like I didn't write comedy, I didn't write jokes, but then I really didn't tell her I didn't know how to write jokes because I was just like, I'll just come up with it in my head, and then I would always forget to write it down in the moment. So I was more of a like, let me try to act this out instead of write this down because I'm not great writing it down. So yeah, she's like, oh, you're just lazy, and I'm just like, I'm not, like, I'm
I'm
not
not
lazy.
lazy. I'm not lazy. I'm just forgetful.
Yeah, forgetful, and I wasn't taking it serious. So I kind of was lazy from the standpoint, but it was also I'm like I don't want to tell like, oh, I don't know how to write comedy. I don't know how to write jokes down. Like what, like how do I write a joke down? How do I write it like premise setup? And then also I wasn't really good at like in writing too. Like English wasn't one of my best subjects. It was math. So that was like another thing that I was insecure about. She's like, "You're just lazy." I'm like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm just not a good writer. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
I'm just not
I
well
don't,
informed, I swear.
yeah." So, because, oh, this is the funniest part. So she thought I had a learning disability
Oh wow.
because I never like did certain stuff. He's like, I don't know if I don't know, he's like a really smart kid and intellectual, but like, is he like maybe not there when it comes to doing this certain type of thing? He might be like have a learning disability. That's why he doesn't write stuff down. And then she went through all that. I was like, what? No, I just
It's like a parent teachers meeting. Like Corde would be so good at comedy if he just applied himself.
yeah, exactly. We tested him and we should make sure like if there was anything like a learning disability or if he's just lacking in any area, and no, he's fine, he's just not applying himself. Oh yeah, we tell him to apply himself. He's like, because that's how I used to be in school too. Like I would apply myself to mostly math things, and I wouldn't apply myself to like things like English and reading. Like that was the big thing I struggled with. Then to come find out, I couldn't hear that well. Oh, so yeah, I almost got put into special needs classes early in elementary too,
Oh
because
wow.
I had a real bad hearing problem that they found out, and they used to always put me on the outskirts of the classroom. So I used to always be like clueless in class. They're like, what is, what? And then I always ask my friends next to me, like, what did they say? What did they just say? Like, it was like, you wasn't listening. I said, I couldn't hear. Like, I would hear like every other word or half of what they were saying. And then like, you can't really make a whole conversation or whole instructions off of every other word, especially being like a kid. Like I think it was like second or third grade and stuff like that. And my reading wasn't the best, but then too, it was just like I couldn't hear a lot. And then my mom reminded me and reminded the school that I had about 6 to 8 ear infections before the age of 5.
Oh wow. That definitely will affect you long
Hell
term.
yeah.
So
Do you
that
still
like made
have
me,
ear problems to this day?
yeah, like I really don't hear like great, but like I've come like it's always funny. It's always I talk to my homie about this all the time. Like usually if I'm like freshly talking to a woman, like we're on the phone, and then I'll be like, "What? What'd you say? Like what?" And then girls be like, "That's like, oh my god, I hate repeating myself. Like you weren't listening." And I'm like, "Oh my god, it's like I was listening. I just didn't hear exactly what you said." And let me, or like you think you hear something, and like you, and like did you? And like a few times I've done this, like where they might have said something, and then I didn't hear exactly what they said, but instead of saying like, "Can you repeat that?" I just like went with what I thought they were talking about, and
Yeah.
they get super confused. They're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Didn't you just say this?" And like, no, I didn't say that. It was like, I thought you did. It's like, no. It's kind of like, how you listen to a song and the lyrics you think you hear
Oh,
is
that's
what you be
her.
saying,
Yes.
right? And you be saying that until somebody tell you what they're actually saying. And you're like, oh, okay. that's like me in a lot of conversations sometimes, you know. For the most part, I hear things, but it's like certain times where I don't. And I'd be like, oh, okay. So that's not what you said. Okay. All right. Because it's funny though, because my mom found out I had a hearing problem because it was one time I used to get in trouble a bunch because she thought I was like ignoring her, but like literally I just didn't hear her. Because this is what happens, like when I had like bad hearing problems. It was like, did I hear something? Nah, I'm tripping. Then I'm like, huh? Did I hear? Nah. And then my mom would bust into my room like, you didn't hear me calling you? And I'm like, I was like, nah. She's like, I was yelling your name because my door would be closed. I was like, so then it wasn't until one time we was in the car together. She was driving and I was in the passenger seat. And I'm staring out the window and like she's calling me and I kind of hear something, but like I'm not exactly sure. I'm like, and my mom was like, could you hear me? I was like, no, I couldn't. She's like, you couldn't hear me? I was like, no. And she's like, oh my God, I think something wrong with like your left ear or something wrong with your hearing. And then we went to the doctor and they started looking into they started doing all these, well, first they started doing all these tests, like at school, you know how they, like the hearing test, the eye test and stuff like that. Yeah. And so I remember the hearing test, like my eyes were always good, but the hearing test was like a challenge for me. They was like, okay, so we're about to set you up. You got your headphones on. Can you hear everything? Like, give me a sick thumbs up. I'm like, well, it was the first time. It was like, give me a thumbs up when you can hear something. I'm like, okay, let's do it. It was like, so give me a thumbs up right now. And I'm like, what? I'm like, give me a thumbs up. And there's, all right, he has noise canceling headphones, so he can't hear. So you tap us. And they'd be like, take your headphones off, take them all this. Like, so give us a thumbs up when you first can hear something, okay? We're going to start it off low, and then we're going to gradually turn it up, and then give us a thumbs up when you can hear it, right? So I'm like, okay. I was like, so put your headphones back on. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. It was like, all right. So you can kind of hear something. You can hear like the machine, but you couldn't hear them. And they'd be like, give us a thumbs up when you hear something. I'm like, okay. And it was like, and then so they walked over and tapped me. It was like, hey, you wasn't put a thumbs up when you hear something. I was like, I know, I heard you. I was like,
you know the rules, right?
Yeah. It was like, no, like, and then somebody was like, can you hear anything? And they said, check my headphones. Are these things working? And I was like, can you put the sound on? And I was like, oh God, like, and I was like, and I was like, oh, is it working now? They was like, it was never not working. I was like, oh, and that's when they kind of looked at each other like, oh snap. And so, kind of find out, went to the doctor. My ears like your nose, like the whatever, your inner ear, right? It's usually like it goes like this and then it drops down, right? And that's how like it gets to your hearing aid. Mine is like a narrow hallway that's like just straight forward, right? And then what they found out was earwax would just build up over time, blocking out my hearing.
That's
so yeah. So they had to they always have to go in and flush it out so I could hear. And it'd always be like these big little things of earwax blocking out hearing, and they're like, so they would like look, the little stethoscope, like looking inside and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
I did that one time. Yeah, I did that one time.
I was like, oh my God. And so it's like 2 or 3 big balls of earwax that they had to flush out to get it out. Because at first my mom used to like Q-tips, and I'm like, Mom, can you stop? That hurts. Like, because I always felt like she was pushing it in versus like pulling out, whatever. So then they used to like flush it out, and then there'd be like 2 or 3 big ones just blocking out either my right ear, but then mostly my left one was really bad. It was always like 2 to 3. My right might have been like 1.5 or whatever. And then so that's why every time my mom used to talk to me on my left side, I could never hear her, because that was the worst ear of the 2.
Wow.
So yeah. And then once they did that, I had like full, like I remember I always told my mom, I was like, now I feel like I have a cone, like a big like caution cone up to my ear, and that's how like my sonic hearing is. Like I feel like I can hear like 3 feet away from people, and then all of a sudden, and then because it was always funny because I would listen to something before I go get my ears cleaned out, and I'm like, dang, this thing is low. And then after I get my ears cleaned out, I'm like, oh God, like this how high I gotta listen to this. Like, I was like, oh, whoo. I'm like, oh. I was like, can we turn this down, please? This is super loud. My mom was that's He's like, that's how bad your hearing was. So that's like always super funny. So
can you tell like when like to this day, like if you need that to happen, if you need to go flush out your ears, can you tell like can you hear it muffled and then you go to the doctor and you get it flushed out or whatever and then you get your
here's the problem. I remember I tried to go a few different times to the doctor, and because once you go from pediatrician to like an adult, like, oh no, you need like a certain amount of buildup in your ear so you don't get bacteria in it, so you don't get ear infections. I was like, I was like, no, dude, I get real bad ear infections and like I don't hear that often, so I kind of need it flushed out. And they kind of, how lazy doctors be, like, like, we want you to be there 15 minutes early so we could be an hour late, okay? Yeah. They come in, oh, you look like, then they always first thing they say, well, your weight,
Maybe that's why you can't hear.
Yeah.
When the doctor tells you,
all right.
When the doctor tells you he's not going to do it, just say, what?
Yeah. Like, or he'd be like, oh, he gives a quick little, like, oh, he's like, your ear. Okay, all right, all right. Now, I don't see nothing wrong with the ears. I'm like, you looked at it for 2 seconds. Dude. I'm like, no, look at look at the left one. This is your real build up in that one. The right one's not as bad, but the left one's. He's like, nah, I don't really see anything. I was like, you sure, doc? He's like, yeah, I'm sure. I was like, doc, if you look at my chart, it goes back to when I was 6 years old.
Wow.
I have this tremendous buildup of stuff. And he was like, I mean, well, but you need stuff. I was like, okay, can you give me a syringe and like the little thing for your ear so I can flush it out myself then? I was like, that would be helpful. I was like, I don't really think I was like, oh my God. You can't get certain stuff without a doctor's recommendation too. So I'm just like,
I've thought about buying those little like the little basin, the little like bulb syringe thing that you can get off Amazon just to like squirt water in your ear. I thought about doing that.
Oh,
I saw that. Cool. I saw that. I even saw the one with the app on it, and like they start showing how your inner ear looks, so you can like go in and clean it out. I was like, I would never use that on my damn ear.
Technology.
Yeah. I was like, I would never use that on my ear because my ear is fucking disgusting.
You're all ew.
All right. Yeah. Well, on that note, hey, what's up? Yeah. Welcome to Hypothetical Comedy Podcast. I am Funky Sam Medina.
And I'm Athena Rodriguez.
And we are here with Corde all day. Corde Snell. What's up, Corde?
No. Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? What's up, folks?
Yeah, man. Hey, so I'm the opposite of you. I used to do those ear tests, and I was super nervous when I did them, but I passed, of course. But I did go to the special ed when I was in elementary because of my eyes. So like they had like a vision special place. So like I had bigger print books and these little machines that you could put things under them, and it's on a screen and it's like bigger and everything.
Super high, yeah.
And the cool thing about it was like as a kid, as elementary school kid, I could just go there whenever I wanted. So if class got tough, I'd be like, I have to go to my other class now. I'm like, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
And then when I went to middle school, I was just lost because I was just lost in the shuffle from there on. It was just a struggle because they didn't have those classes for older kids.
Yeah. So for me, right, it was there was no middle. So I went to like a white school, so there was like no middle ground. So it wasn't like, let's say me, like Sam, let's say like you can't see and I can't hear, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what we are saying,
right? And then so they'd be like, okay, if you need to, you can go to the other class, right? But so as I learned, because I'm an educator, kids who are on a spectrum, like you have people on the full spectrum who are like really need help, who really can't function, need an adult with them at all times. The class will be me and you with them. There wasn't like a little small learning disability. It was like, no, you're going fully into this kind of a class where they're doing coloring or second grade math, or we're like on like 4th, 5th, and it's kind of like, yeah, I want to be in here. Like I remember one day they was kind of like, if you don't get it together, you might, but then my mom kept advocating for me. That's why I love her so much, because she always say, no, it's like it took, as she said, it took about 2 years for them to fully figure out and try to go through stuff. Oh, I didn't tell the best part of not being able to hear. Okay. So, because my mom told me the main reason why I was being put in these classes because how I talked, I had like a speech problem. My speech wasn't that good, right?
Yeah.
Like, so right now I'm talking pretty clear, but sometimes I mumble. Sometimes I remember when I was little, I used to mumble a lot. But then my mom told me I used to talk like this, but I had like really bad hearing. So I really couldn't like I talk like this, but I'm thinking I'm talking like this.
Oh, because you
This is
can
how I hear
yourself.
myself, right?
Wow.
Everybody else is like hearing me like talking like this. Oh, notice I sound like this. I was like talking like this. I sounded real nasally because I couldn't hear myself, so I was kind of like, oh, like I was, kind of. They was like, oh, you sound like that. I'm like, I sound like that, like so. So it wasn't until me getting like my ears fixed or like ear problems worked out, and then finally hearing like how congested I sounded all times. I was like, I remember I was talking to mom. I was like, Mom, why do I sound like this? And she was like, that's how you sound, baby. That's how you talk. I'm like, I sound like that? I'm like, I didn't think I sound like that. I was like, why don't I just talk like this? And my mom was like, oh, it was like this moment.
Wow.
Of like she like almost like came to tears. She's like, oh my God, you can hear yourself. And she's like, I knew there wasn't nothing wrong with you. The doctor said you was like on like special and things like that. It's like, no, I know there's nothing wrong with my son. So it's literally because I couldn't hear how I sounded. That I was being pushed in a certain area. And I think dang, it's not Jermaine Carmichael, it's another dude. I forget his name. It was a black dude who was on he was on MTV a lot, MTV2. It was called Guy Code and like a few other stuff, right? He said his brother had kind of like a speech thing too. And so because he sounded a certain type of way, they started putting him in like special or spectrum classes at like an early age because how he sounded. And because they didn't grow up and they didn't have that much money, they like, because you get tested every year and stuff like that. So they said they found out when he was 17, there was nothing wrong with him. And he was like, see, I told you I was nothing wrong with me. I just talk. I just talk funny. Because I think they said he had like a real like lazy tongue or something, like his tongue wasn't fully cut or something, like at a young age. So he had like lazy tongue. So he sounded funny because his tongue was a certain type of way. And because he talked like that, they thought, oh, of course, he's like on the spectrum of some kind. And it really wasn't even like that. It was just his tongue wasn't fully developed or fully kind of a thing. I was like,
that is crazy.
That's super funny. So we over here sound like people from under the stairs and stuff like that. They think we slow.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I can relate to like almost everything you said.
Yeah.
My dad had really bad hearing when he was younger, and they put him in special classes, and they found out later that it was his hearing. And then when I was small, I had the same issue where it was like a weird drainage issue in the ears, but they gave me tubes. They gave me surgery to get the tubes in my ears to make it properly drain, I guess, or something. And those are out, but I still have hearing problems to this day. And Sam always makes fun of me because I hear song lyrics wrong.
Always.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, and it's super funny too because I remember like they gave me drainage too. Like I remember my mom like wouldn't let me wear nice shirts sometimes because the medicine I was on sometimes. Dang. Well, because like she was like, I don't want you to wear this nice shirt while you're wearing like you have your medicine in your ear because they're like she'll put it was like these eardrops in the morning and it was kind of like a fuzzing or a sizzling sensation, and then over time it would just kind of like kind of fall and just drop on my shirt. And so she used to never like want like a nice like white or yellow shirt, just have like earwax stuff on it like that, And then so also too, because like that same medicine, it made me like I had to wear a hat at all times. Like I think it was for like 8 months because the medicine made me like real susceptible to sunburn. So like and we was outside playing all day at recess. My mom was like, "He has to wear a hat at all times." You know how because you take that hat off in class, and it was literally they said any light was like super sensitive to my skin. I remember, you ever had like a kid who wanted to take his hat off in class, and the teacher kept like, I remember one time I was fighting with my teacher. I kept taking it off, my teacher was putting it on. But it's like, so I'm gonna call your mom. I was like, okay, don't. Call my mom, because I remember it was getting annoying because I think I had like one hat at the time or like two, and then my mom. So then I was like, Mom, I need more hats. I got one hat, or two hats. And so then we bought like, I think 6 or 7 hats. So that way I can like transition. Because we wearing the same hat, every day or 2 hats become dirty, you know?
Yeah.
So we bought a ton of hats, and then I had to wear it for like 6 to 9 months or something like that. So I didn't get like severe sunburn, because it said like it literally it's like it lightened my pigmentation, and then also made my skin super sensitive, because that was just a side effect of the medicine. But it was like super effective. But it was just, I had to just keep a hat on at all times, even indoors, because the rays from the light that you just sit under will be effective too. Because I'm like, what? I can't take it off in class. It was like, no, you can't take off in class either, especially early on, because the medicine was super strong. So any light was like whatever. And they almost thought it was like, if your eyes get sensitive to it, you might have to wear sunglasses indoors as well. I was like, what? But then it never got that bad. But it was like that could be a side effect too. Like, might affect your eyes too, just being like everything's bright. And so, but I remember a few times I was outside and like the sun was super bright. I was like, what is? Whoo, whoo. So I think I wore sunglasses for like, I think a week or two, and or it was like optional. And it was like, do you use sunglasses? I was like, yeah. Like, cause it was super bright. Because my teacher would just see me just like outdoors, like just like this. But yeah, so it was a trip. And it's always funny reminiscing about this, because I don't talk about it often, but it was like something seriously that happened. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because most kids, they want to wear a hat in school. They're fighting to take it off. Like, take that hat off.
Yeah.
The opposite for you.
Yeah.
Did your hearing problem affect you positively or negatively in your comedy?
Oh, at that point, I don't think it really affected me negatively in comedy, because at that point I was like kind of used to it and kind of
Under control,
doing stuff, and it was like in control about it. But not really.
That's good.
And then and then like also, I remember I never used to listen, like, how some people used to have headphones and they used to blast them in their ears and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I still do.
I was never I was never one of those people. I always thought that was stupid, because one, you'll affect your hearing, and I already had hearing problems. So my mom would always say, like, turn that down, turn that down, because she already knew I had hearing problems. She was like, I don't want you to go deaf by a certain period of time. So she was like, turn it down. And I got used to having it like lower. And then another thing too, remember when iPods was like a big thing and stuff like that?
The
And then like they had the new right? And they had like the cool new like white headphones.
Yeah.
I used to hate letting people listen to my iPod, because someone would always borrow your iPod and turn the volume all the way up, and then blow out your headphones.
Oh,
I used to hate that. And I used to be like, hey man, turn that down. No, it's good. I was like, no, fool. You blast the hell loud, and you come back and you listen to it, and every time like a beat hitting the phone, it's like put. Like, I'm like, blew up my headphones, man. And that's when you start realizing that you can't let everybody have some of your stuff, because they don't treat it as good as you do. So
yeah, definitely.
Knowing the value of things, man.
Yeah. So did you that place in Concord, that's kind of where you got your start. Did you grow up in that area? Where did you grow up?
No, I'm from Richmond, California, man. I was from Richmond, California. Yeah. So yeah. So also Vinny's, right? So I didn't get my start at Vinny's. We actually started doing shows. It was a funny thing that Vinny's was like the third location that we ended up moving to, because Kathy McCarthy, may she rest in peace, she started doing shows at Contra Costa College, which is a college where I met Johan, met Chris Smith, and like a few other people who are like Sarah Piani, and a few other people who started doing comedy all around the same time. It was like 7, 8 of us. We did it at the theater at Contra Costa, and then we moved it to this place called the Boiler House in Richmond, right next to the Craneway Pavilion. It was like a little restaurant right there, and it's the Craneway Pavilion. And which is funny, because you hear the Craneway Pavilion and it makes it sound like, oh snap, it's like a big theater or a place or like there was like another one in San Francisco, right? The pavilion part. Oh, the pavilion. And it is like a huge like space. Like, honestly, you could probably they throw a lot of raves there now. They throw a ton of raves there. And it probably it's one of those like places that they like on a docks or whatever, that they have like a big ass building like a factory or whatever. Then it kind of turned into like throwing like events there, and it's super huge. And then right next to it was this brewery. It was called the Boiler House, and they like serve food and stuff. So we moved there because it was hard to keep renting out the theater because we couldn't pack it out. And then she moved. She's like, she stopped doing shows for like a year and a half. And I remember that was during the time people said I had quit comedy. And I never did quit. It was just, she was just on a hiatus. And I didn't know where no other shows was. Like I was doing open mics. I just did. I was like doing her show. And they was like, oh man, I heard you quit comedy. I was like, who said that? And then so people kept, it was like a rumor. They was like, yeah, man, Corde was cool, but he quit comedy. And I was like,
wow.
who's that quit? I didn't quit. I didn't know where no open mics was. I didn't know where no other shows was.
Yeah.
So shout out to me and Johan Miranda. We both started at the same time.
Nice.
He knew about a lot.
I
of
haven't
open
heard that
mics.
name in a long time.
Yeah. And he used to drive at the time, and I didn't drive. I was like, hey man, hey, can I carpool with you and do some shows? He's like, but like Johan's like a super nervous dude. Somebody told him that I lived in Antioch. And he was like, I don't know, man. That's like kind of far. I don't want to be driving all the way to your house. I was like, where do you think I live? He was like, you live in Antioch, right? I was like, dude, I live in El Sobrante. And he was like, what?
Oh, dang.
So El Sobrante is like a little town, and he lived in Pinole. So he literally lived like within 5 minutes of each other. But he thought I lived like,
wow, that's cool. That works out.
He thought I lived like 30 minutes away or 40 minutes away. And I'm actually like, hey, you go to the city? Hey, can you pick me up? And then we go to the city. So he thinking he like, I gotta drive way to Antioch and then try to go back to the city. He's like, why don't you just catch BART? I was like, there's no BART by my house. He was like, no, there's BART to Antioch. I was like, who the fuck lives in Antioch?
What does Antioch got to do with it?
Exactly. So I used to get so confused. And then we found that out. And he was like, oh shit, dude, I was like, no, I catch bus every day. He's like, yeah, but you told me like your bus ride will be like take a while. I was like, oh, because if I miss it, I gotta wait like a whole nother hour. He was like, oh, I thought like it takes an hour to get here from where you was. I was like, no, I take like 20 minutes on the bus. So hella funny shit though. Just like all this like different communication. So, but yeah. And then so after the Boiler House, yeah, after the Boiler House,
funny rumors.
Yeah. After the Funny House,
we stopped doing comedy for like almost 4 years and nobody noticed.
Hey, yeah, it's yeah. I remember because I started doing comedy. I would say I started in 2012, but I really started in 2010. But I never did open mics or like I just did Kathy shows. So like my first show would be like open mic and me trying out new jokes that we would write or come up with like a few days before that or like a week before that. So I say when I first started, I did like Tommy T's for the first time, and I went up there and I did like. I always say I did like cool to okay, but it was like, I don't know. The more I think about it, I think the worse I did. Like the dude who went up before me, he bombs. Like he got no laughs. I went up after him, and then my first few like jokes got immediate laughs. But then after that, I told like this long ass story about my cousin who eats a lot, and it was nothing really there. So it was like this like incredible build up to nothing. And I remember I had invited a chick there. We didn't hang out afterwards. My family was like, my family was like, oh, good job, man. Good job. Friends came. It was like, good job, man. It was like, yeah, man, you was good, man. You was good. And I was like, oh, was I? And then my dad came and real with me. My dad was like, hey, dude, what happened, man? You got funnier jokes than that, man. What was that? What was that? Like he was the one person who kept it real. He was like, I seen you did good. What was out there? I was like, Dad, I'm super nervous. At that time I had did comedy, like stand up in about a year or like a year or more. So that was like my first time up, and then they gave me 10 minutes. And at the time, the most I probably did was like 5 to 7. But like doing 7, like didn't know you did 7. You know, like yeah, I thought it was like how you was up there for a while. I was like, how long did you do? 7 minutes. I'm like, oh, 7. I'm sorry, but I thought I only did 5. So 10 minutes seemed super long to me at the time. So I was like, I had wrote a joke and I was practicing in the car, and I was timing myself to make it be able to feel the whole time instead of having been funny. And that's where I messed up. And the dude was like, he's like, why was that joke so long that you was sounding like this one comedian? He's like, what's that joke so long? I was like, dude, you told me I had to do 10 minutes. I was trying to fill the whole time. He's like, you can stop short and have it be funny and get off stage. You don't have to do that all the time. I was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, leave him wanting more. He's like, so you can do like a good 5 to 7, but if it's all funny and you get off stage, people ain't gonna be mad. I was like, but if you get up there and do a 7-minute joke that's kind of funny here and there, but you just keep talking about it and there's really no payoff, people gonna be like, why are you still telling this joke? And I was like, that was it? He's like, and that's what I did. He's like, you kind of did that. But then I remember, I think I had like a good joke to end on. So then that was cool. And so it was like, started good, told a long ass joke story, and then the end was good. But it was like in between, it was just like, damn, dude, what was you? And then so I never tell that joke no more too. I know. And then I look back, like I was like, yeah, that joke was long. I was like, why didn't? And I looked at it and I added hella stuff to it that I wasn't supposed to. I made it way longer than what it was supposed to be. So, and then I left out a lot of the punchlines that was in it. And it's literally about my cousin.
With your experience now, you could probably make that something good.
Oh yeah, I probably really could. It's super funny. Yeah, because the joke is, so I have a cousin. I tell people about my cousin. His name is Alvin, and my mom always talks about, she thinks he has a tapeworm in his stomach because he just eats like, right. It was super funny because you remember when Wendy's had like the 4 for $4s? Oh no, it was Burger King. They had the 2 for $2s, right? So it was like 2 cheeseburgers for $2. Yeah, like, 2 for $2s. The person was like, yeah. He's like, can I get 4 of them? It's okay. And then his total was like, it's like, your total was $4.50. And he's like, and can I get a fry? It's okay. So your total was like $6. And he was like, $6? That don't sound right. He's like, no, that don't sound right, right? And then so we go up to the window. It was like, yeah, the 2 for $2s? It was like, yeah. He's like, you gave me 4 of them, right? He was like, yeah, 4. He's like, you wanted 4 burgers, right? He was like, no, I didn't want 4 burgers. I wanted 4 orders. I was like, you wanted 8 burgers, Albert? And he was like, yeah, and my medium fry. And then can I get a water? Matter of fact, make it 2. And I was like, a water, huh? A water? He's like, yeah, I'm all about my H2O. I was like, motherfucker. So that was that. And then it was I said, not only that, we went to Wendy's afterwards. And he's funny because all these like little fast food spots are on the same spot. And he was like, yeah, can I get 2 6-piece chicken nuggets? And I was like, the hell you doing, man? You just have 4 burgers. You just ordered 8 burgers, a fry, a water. Now you want 2 6-piece chicken nuggets? Like, yeah, man. He's like, and I'm about to get some Taco Bell too. You about to get some Taco Bell too?
If it's just 3 drive-thrus in one meal.
How?
Yeah, 3 drive, because it was me and the homies, right? And we all was chilling at our homie spot, but all of us, it was like one car, and it was like 8 of us. So we all ain't gonna fit in the car. We was like, oh, I'm gonna give you my money, you get this. Like one person was like, I want Burger King. One person was like, I want Wendy's. And one person was like, I want Taco Bell. And luckily we knew that these spots was literally like, imagine, so like, Vinny's, Vinny's is. So imagine Burger King is Vinny's. The next bar next to it is Taco Bell, and there's another bar across the street that's Wendy's. So they're all like on the same street. So it's really, you just got to get out of line and go to the next. So it's really like that simple. So that's why we went to all these different places. So, and then he's like, so after we leave Wendy's and he gets his 12 nuggets, we then go to Taco Bell, and our homie wanted like 4 chicken burritos with like some kind of sauce. And then he got 2 burritos at Taco Bell. So my cousin comes up with like, he had 8 burgers, 12 chicken nuggets, and 2 chicken burritos, but he got waters at each stop we went to. And he was like, and my 3 waters, don't forget my 3 waters. So I'm telling this story, and I don't really have like a lot of punchlines to it. I'm just telling what he ordered. And the punchline at the end is that he like sits down, and then at this point he killed the Waters and he killed the Nuggets on the way home because he said he couldn't wait till we got home. He had to eat some. I can't wait till I get home. And then then because he was thirsty and because he killed the Waters, or he was like taking it back like shots, he made himself a pitcher of Kool-Aid. And then he started eating, and I was like, and you just see him like, I was like, what is? I was like, I saw like a cheetah devouring a gazelle. Like, I was like in front of me, and then I started looking at my food and looking at him, and then I was just like, I can't do it, right? So that payoff was like the good part. And then I almost had my cousin stand up because he was there in the audience. I looked dead at him. But I didn't want to embarrass him at the time. And he was like, I looked at you. I was going to tell you to stand up. But then I didn't want people to be like, God damn, or something, right? or be like, yo, but somebody who ate all that, he sure is pretty small. Because my cousin's like a football player. So he's not like, you hear somebody eating all that and you think they're like my 600-pound life. And he's actually like very well built. Because he played football and then like, so it was hella weird. So
man, I thought I could eat a lot.
Yeah, and so this joke ended up being like 7 minutes long, and then I looked back at it, and I was only supposed to talk about. The setup was way different how I wrote it. The setup was I made the mistake one time of letting my cousin, telling my cousin Alvin that I was gonna buy his lunch one time.
Oh, nice. That's kind of cool.
Right. So that's cool. But I was like, but I forgot that my cousin Alvin eats a fuck ton. So I said I was going to buy him lunch, and then we go to Burger King, Wendy's, and then Taco Bell. And then I added in, I was like, my cousin eats so much, he make you go back to the ATM to withdraw more money so you can like pay for his food. Like that's how much he ate. You know, like I had $20 and I had to go back and get another 40 because of all the extra stuff that he started ordering in all these little relevant places. And I was like, you know how you tell somebody, oh, don't worry, I'll buy you something. And like, oh, you buy me something? Well, now that he buying me something, let's get this and that and that. And then that was supposed to be part of the joke. Like he initially just wanted Burger King. And then I told him I was buying him lunch. He was like, oh, since he buying me, we can also go to Wendy's or the Taco Bell. And then he tried to ask to go somewhere else. I was like, hell no, I ain't giving you all this stuff. He said, well, you said you was going to buy me lunch, right? So that was the input of the part of the jokes. And
That's
it wasn't
good.
that long.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. So it wasn't like all the list of stuff that he was getting. But yeah, so that's why it was.
Buying him lunch is like a drug deal gone bad.
Yeah. And so I was supposed to end it with, I was like, Alvin, this is the last time I'm ever buying you lunch at a fast food spot. We ain't never going to a fast food spot and I'm never buying you lunch. I was like, buffets from here on out. Okay. That's the only place I'm like, cause that I was like, all this $45 I spent on your ass, we could have went to hometown and I could have spent $8 on your ass and it had unlimited. You know,
right? So, one flat fee. He's like, no, you gotta buy me buffets at all the buffets in the area.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, no, we ain't doing all that. He was like, oh snap, you was gonna buy me? I was like, yeah, what the fuck? So yeah.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
That is hilarious. I think
incredible.
It's also funny the contrast between like how you look compared to how your cousin looks. Like he's all like a football player and he eats more, but while you're going to each drive-through, the look of judgment upon is on you because he looks like a good person.
It's exactly. Well, we both used to play football, but we played different positions. So like, and then also when you're in football, you eat like that because like you really it's because I remember in high school he played football and I played football. My mom would be like, oh my God, these kids are literally eating me out of like a house and home. Like the fridge was always empty because you practice for 3 to 4 hours a day, so you come in like straight after practice, and they're growing boys, so we're literally growing as we're eating. So it's like all this stuff, like huge growth spurt, body needs all this kind of food and stuff. So we would be eating like all kind of stuff. Like I remember I used to come home hungry, like so hungry. My mom was like, he went for dinner. I'm like, Mom, like I'm super hungry right now. Can I just make a sandwich or a bowl of cereal or something? Because literally after a 4-hour practice, like you burned out everything.
Yeah.
Then she found out, she's like, well, what about lunch? I was like, I only eat at lunch. I mean, lunch is just disgusting. Like I used to have like a juice and a cookie because that was like the only good thing. Yeah, because the lunch wasn't that good, but it was funny because elementary lunch was good. High school lunch, the budget just went down or something like that. They would either give you an undercooked or overcooked pizza that was like hard as shit, or like the cheese. I'm like, hold up, this cheese a little cold right here. Like, what the hell? So it was all this fun. And then the funny thing about the dude who used to sell, it was a cafeteria man who used to sell us stuff. He looked like Petey Pablo. I don't know if y'all remember who Petey Pablo is, but he looked like Petey Pablo.
Rapper? He's a rapper, right?
The rapper, yeah. And I was like, damn, Petey Pablo fell on hard times over here serving us lunch and stuff like that. And then I remember a few times you ever heard me, he was like, hey man, I ain't no Petey Pablo, you ain't getting none of my line. I was like,
oh dang.
So yeah, so that was like super funny. So yeah, it was a trip. It was a trip.
That's
though.
Crazy. Hey, so while we're on the food subject, talk to us about your veganism.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So yeah, I gotta retire those jokes, matter of fact, because I'm not vegan no more. But I talk.
You know what's funny is we're not really doing the vegan stuff either. But I love my vegan jokes. I feel really bad when I tell them, but I really love them.
I don't feel bad at all because people. All right, so here's the funny shit. When I was being vegan, I was vegan for 2.5 years. Nobody believed me the whole time I was vegan, or they said, right? They used to really look at me like, "Is this food really vegan?" Stuff like that. And then because I was telling the joke for so long and I was doing it, and I was vegan for a long period of time, people was like, "Hey, you still vegan? Like you still like whatever, right?" And so once I stopped, people was like, "Oh yeah, you can't eat this because you're vegan." I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, "Oh fuck, I can't." And I'm like, "No, dude, I'm not vegan no more." They was like, "I thought you was vegan." I was like, "Yeah, I was," but y'all motherfuckers didn't believe me. Y'all didn't believe me when I was vegan, which is hella funny because I remember, we did this one thing. It was I think it was 2019 or 2018 or something like that. We did a bald comedian meetup. And it was like it was like supposed to be a joke. It was supposed to be just 3 dudes. It was like I was bald, and the guy's like shave their heads, but the other person losing their hair. It's like we should just hang out. He says bald dudes, and then it became like an event.
Did Jorge organize it?
Bald dude event, yeah. But then we started realizing we didn't invite all the bald people who was there, and then some people was like, "Oh, I'm not coming." I was like, "Oh, you don't think you bald, huh? You still think you got? You still think you got?" So that was hella funny. And I remember like I'm sitting there and I was vegan at the time. And I'm like, everybody's ordering stuff. And we went to kind of like, it wasn't like a Benihana, but it was kind of like an expensive, I think it was P.F. Chang's or something. And we like ordering food. And I'm like, yeah, let me get some vegetable rice. Let's get some fried rice, something like that. I said, that sounds good too. I'll have some of yours. And I was like, because I don't like, you know how you go to some Chinese food spots and it's like, they put it as like, oh, this is gonna be a family thing where you just all go around and share. Yeah. But I hate doing that. Like I hate doing that with friends because I usually like, oh no, this is just for me. But friends always want to like have some of yours. But I'm like, I'm vegan. You can't have some of mine, and because I can't have none of yours. You know,
yeah, right. That's all you got.
That's all I got. So I was like, okay, let me get the fried rice and let me get the veggie rolls, which is pretty cool. So like that's kind of like it. And then like this also, you want Corde? I was like, yeah, that's all I want because I'm like, it's not really many options. And then so they ordered like beef, they ordered like chicken, then like all this other stuff. And then it was like, well, Corde, I was like, that fried rice is not really, I was like, let's get some like shrimp fried rice or some chicken fried rice. And I was like, huh? And then it's like, yeah, instead of the veggie rolls, let's get some like some pork rolls. And I was like, I'm like, are you changing my? And then so I'm there and I'm just like, and I'm looking off camera because I'm literally just like, I'm remembering it too. I'm just like, because I'm looking at the food, I'm like, that could have been just fried rice and that could have just been vegetable. Like, I was like, so I'm eating it and I'm like,
oh damn,
because I know my head and my stomach's about to be hurting later, and then so I'm eating the stuff and I'm like, try not to eat most of the stuff while I'm picking through. Like, oh, here's beef with broccoli, so I'm just eating the broccoli specifically because there's not really many options I can eat. So I'm like, I'm not gonna be here starving, so I'm gonna eat some of it. And I was like, let me have like a little piece of this meat. And then somebody was like, "Hey, Corde, aren't you vegan?" I don't see no vegan options on this table. And I was like, no shit. And it was like, oh, is that? Oh, fuck. I'm an asshole.
I canceled your shit.
I canceled. Yeah, he's like, I canceled your shit, and I was like, yeah, dude. That's why I was like, I'm gonna have this 2 things. And it was like, oh, there's like, damn. It was like, why did you say that? And I was like, well, I don't want to be the one prick who's there. Everybody's eating something, and I'm over here ordering separate shit. I was like, in my head, I was like, so you just gonna deal with the pain? I was just gonna deal with the pain. I don't want to be that guy. So I had a headache later because if you don't eat meat for a while, when you eat ingested, it makes your stomach, your body feel weird. So I had like this headache. I was like, I said, I wish I hang out a little more. I was like, nah, leave me go home. They was like, you got a headache. I was like, I got a killer headache coming on, dude. So yeah, it was super funny.
I never really correlated the two. I wonder if that has anything to do with, because I get headaches often too. So that's crazy.
No, I get headaches like often too, but that was just like a family thing. But it was because like of the lack of having that kind of stuff. It messes with your body. It kind of
shocks your body.
Yeah. So that's what it did. So that was like a thing. So I was like, ugh. So that was funny. But yeah, and there were a few times that would happen. Like we would go certain places, and then if I didn't know the spot, like I could start figuring stuff out. But hey, can I get the fried rice? But then can I get no egg? Appreciate it. Or can I get this? And then let me get like fries, or let me get like, we'll say you mashed potatoes. Do you guys put butter in mashed potatoes? Like, nah. Okay, I can get that. So like little stuff like that. And it's usually a lot of sides you go to places, and my meal will be cheaper than theirs because it's literally just like a bunch of sides put together. So
yeah. You did it for 2.5 years?
2.5 years. Yeah.
That's cool. What was the reason to do it?
Oh, this is funny. So I'm a bigger dude, and then like usually when I was in college, like I wouldn't eat too much just because you busy stuff, and then like I'll eat like 2 times a day instead of the 3, and then like snack throughout the day, and then I had went home like that good old cooking, and I was eating everything that was there, and then we went on a cruise. Going on a cruise, it's all you can eat at all times, and I remember I was eating everything. We was on vacation. And so I remember I felt my body getting heavier. Like that was like a thing. I was like, oh, this might not be good. And I think I put on like 20 pounds in like a span of time or something like that, it seemed like. Wow. And I was like, God damn, I was eating a lot. So probably like in like the 2 months, something like that, I put on like 20 pounds or something. And then I was like, well, when I get back to school, I'll probably start working out. That's all I always told myself. Never did. But then I was like, usually I don't eat that much. Yeah, like I said, I don't eat that much at school, so like my weight will drop back down. And then I was still eating bad. I was like, I'll eat better in the new year, and I was still eating bad at the time. And I was just like, I'm still eating bad. And I remember I was eating this pizza that was hella greasy, and then it was just like super super greasy. And I like greasy pizza, but it was like extra greasy that day. And I remember I had like a root beer. So like my hands is all greasy, and I'm eating this like greasy thing, and it's just like falling down. And then I'm washing it down with like a root beer. And I was like, this ain't good. This ain't good. This ain't healthy, But then not only that, I had later, because I had an apartment, and then I had parked like, because the parking was fucking terrible at our apartment. So I parked like a few blocks away. So as I'm walking, like my back is killing me. I was like, my back is my back is killing me, right? And so then my ankles started swelling, my legs started hurt. I was like, my ankles. I was like, I was like, what is better? I was like, I start doing like the big person. Well, I was like, oh shit. I'm like, this is good. Feels well better. Like this. Yeah. And I started looking. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, am I getting that big? Well, I'm getting like that like the big like penguin walk or whatever. And then I had like this vision all of a sudden that came out of nowhere that said, if I don't change my weight right now, I will end up on my 600-pound life.
Wow.
Like, it was like in the moment, like I saw myself like with like 6X or 7X like t-shirts, wearing sweats all the time, like on a bed, but like just constantly sitting everywhere. and it's like constantly out of breath. It was like this like random ass vision. And then in my head, I was the comedian me kicked in the middle of this thought. I was like, well, if I'm 600 pounds and I'm on my 600-pound life, that's a TV credit, yo. I don't care what you say. Like, I made it on TV. Like, that's hella dope. But then the reality set back in. I was like, yeah, but how many of them dudes on my 600-pound life got like have a wife or got any kind of relationship? It's just them at their mom's house. I was like, but the women always got a dude, got multiple kids somehow. They always wifed up. They always like married. I don't know why this is. I don't know why this is.
That's true though. Like, you're right. The men are single.
The men are single, and the women on my 600-pound life all married, got several kids. I'm like, why is it when we get hella big, nobody want us? Women, no, that's my big sugar bear right there. That's my big boo boo. That's my boo boo right there. That's my boo boo. And so like, and I never understand it. And the dude might be husky, but he way smaller than what she is. Or it's like that one weird, super skinny dude who like big girls. And I'd be like, how? And then I watched it a few times with my mom, and my mom was like, how do they? I guess it was like, yeah, you know, she gained a lot of weight because she just had her kid recently. He was like, recently? Recently she had a kid?
17 years old.
No. The kid was like about like 8, like about a year. And so like she's like, oh, she gained more weight since she's gained 8 pounds after the kid. And my mom was like, wait. He's like, she was like, you were still fucking her when she was like 400 to 500 pounds? Like, she was like, how did that? He's like, oh, but now it's terrible because now it's 600 pounds. He's like, so I was like, but how did he? He's like, was he lift like what? I was like, Mom, don't even. But it was super funny. And then you literally go from that, like, my weight's gotten the best of me and I can't play with my kids and it's so hard. Like, my husband, he's there for me and everything. And the next dude, fat guy with his mom, like nothing, like, you know, mom gotta help me wipe my butt, you know. And I'm just like, I was like, yo, and my mom was like, oh, this is sad. I'm like, it's real sad. It's like, why? I was like, because the woman got a whole family and the dude is here with his mama. Like, I was like, this is how you know life ain't fair. My mom was like, damn, you right. I was like, Mom, and they got several kids together. They got several kids. That dude ain't probably even got a girlfriend nowhere. I was like, you see how this shit ain't fair? So yeah, but that vision of my 600-pound life made me like switch it up. And then my big brother, a dude who consider my big brother, he was like a trainer for me when I used to play football. And like ever since then, he's like 10 years old. I just consider him like his real brotherly figure. He told me he had lost 30 pounds by going vegan. But he's like a personal trainer too. And I was like, I probably can't get that, but if I get closer, if I get 15 to 20, that'll be good for me. And then I was like, well, let me try going vegan as like a super strict restriction diet. And I did that and I lost like 14 pounds in like 2 weeks, like right as soon as I started. And so that was like, okay, well, this shit is good. But you know, they say it take a month to make stuff a habit. The weird thing about when I went vegan, the last week before it hit like the month, I remember I started craving random ass shit, like stuff I don't even eat like that. I remember I was craving steaks. So I go for like a nice steak, right? And I was just like, I don't even eat steaks. Like, I ain't had a steak like 4 years. I was like, why am I craving a steak? But it was just like all this random shit. And I was like, what the fuck? A steak? I was like, my mom don't even make steak. I'm like, a steak? Not a burger, like a steak. And I'm just like, what the hell is this? So, yeah, but it was interesting. So, yeah, and that's why I became vegan. So, and then I think I ended up losing like 40, 50 pounds from it. And I felt like super light while I did it. And I always think about going back because I'm like, you know, the pandemic, you put on weight. And I was like at my lightest when I was vegan. I think I was like, one thing about me, I always tell people, I always ask people to guess my weight. And then people always like, what you like? Like 280? I'm like, nah. What happened? A dog happened? That's all bullshit.
I don't know. My cat did something. She made some weird noise.
She was like fighting something.
I don't know what she was
doing.
Yeah. So people always think I'm like 280, 270, 260. And like I was like, nah, I keep guessing. And they start at like 280 and then it just keeps going down. down, and one person they'd be like, this is like honestly a joke too. I do sometimes. I'm like, how much you like? You like? What you like? 230, 220? I was like, motherfucker, do I look 230? And I'm like, nah, and I'm like, nah, I'm like in my 300s. They was like, bro, I couldn't even see it. Like you wear it well, and I'm like, yeah, and that's kind of my problem. I was like, because I wear it so well. I'm like, no, I don't even look that bad. And then my niece, she's like, nah, you're a little. so like the lightest I think I got back down to was like 317, and I kind of want to get back. I actually want to get under 300, but
yeah, me too.
it's just hard.
So
yeah, it's like especially because now it's like I'm like 33 now, and it's older now. I start feeling like the pressure on my knees, like the pressure. I don't feel pressure on my ankles as much, but it's like my knees kind of like try to do stuff, and it's like okay, this is what they talk about long term. Like your body doesn't function as much. I'm like, okay. So I think I always think about going back to vegan, but I realize how hard it is. But the strictness of it kind of reminds of football. Because when you use football, like you have the strict diet, you can't do this, you can't do that. So it kind of helps from that standpoint. But other times I'd be like, well, I kind of like meat again, so I don't know. Like
it is very very tough and strict. It really is.
Yeah. So
but if you do it well, you don't really miss out. I feel like
I miss
like
cheese.
When we did it,
I miss cheese.
Cheese was the biggest thing that we missed. Besides all bacon.
But there's a lot of dairy. There's a lot of non-dairy cheese though. There's a lot of it now.
Yeah, all of them suck.
They taste like
pretty
a
much. Yeah, pretty much.
It tastes like what?
They have like the consistency of a booger when they're melted.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I always say like vegan cheese tastes previously chewed. That's what it's.
That's a good way to put it. Absolutely. Yeah. So she like when the pandemic she was like, hey, I want to do vegan for like a month and see how I feel. And I was like, oh, I'll do it with you, Mm-hmm. And so the first 2 weeks, like acid reflux went away.
Mm-hmm.
I had like acid reflux. There's a few things I can't even think of right now, but I just had a few things went away. I was sleeping better, and I lost water weight or whatever in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Slipped down a little bit, fit into pants that I didn't fit into before.
This is 2 weeks. Two weeks into it, he was sleeping better. His apnea went away. Like he stopped breathing in the sleep.
I wasn't breathing in my sleep, and that went away completely. Amazing. Yeah, and so I was like, oh, I guess we're going to be vegan forever.
Yeah, after 2 weeks, he was like, all right, I'm cool. I could do this. And I'm like, good for you. Yeah. I miss bacon. Like,
but then, like, the world opens up. See, my biggest thing was when 2021, when the world opened back up, because we did it for about a year, like almost a year. Mm-hmm. And then I went back to the comedy club, working late at night. And it's hard because at a comedy club, the only thing I could eat was French fries.
French fries, yeah.
So I kind of like, all right, well, I'll get a burger, and then I'll get another burger, and then before I know it, I'm not even doing vegan at all anymore. It was at first was okay, I'll get a burger with no cheese, and eventually I added cheese back to it.
Yeah. Well, for me, what it was they had options. Like I used to get fries or something like that. And then usually fries is cheap, or if they had I was like, I got like a meatless burger or something like that. Not a Harvester, I got like a meatless burger, because the Harvest burger is just like grass and stuff like that. It tastes disgusting. But the meatless burger, or like a meat, or they had like, I remember some places had like a big like a mushroom burger, and then that was pretty good because like the sauces they used on it was pretty good. So that used to help. And actually, that doesn't sound too bad right now.
It does.
So
good, yeah.
Or I remember a few spots started having like buffalo, what is it? Buffalo, not asparagus, but it's like not what's the white broccoli?
We've had buffalo
cauliflower. That shit is on point. Like that shit is good. So I remember I used to get that. I used to order like buffalo cauliflower, and then I'd be like, oh, and then I get some fries. And then I was like, fuck, I need to start ordering salads, because I'm not vegan. I can't I was like, all right. So then I would start ordering let me get some buffalo cauliflower with like a salad or something like that. Or if I got the burger, I'd be like, can I get the fries and a salad so I can have because the carbs from the bread and the fries would be cool. And then I need something healthier kind of thing. I'm like, all right, let me get some. And I wasn't drinking a lot of soda, so I was getting you guys got any lemonade, and then I'll have water too. So it was all this different kind of stuff to kind of supplement stuff out. But yeah, But yeah, you start feeling better like immediately after going vegan, like kind of rough, but you like ooh. I remember I used to always feel light. That was
that's what like the biggest thing that I noticed was that you don't feel as heavy at all. Even if you have a huge meal, you still don't feel like stuffed to the gills.
Yeah. I
was like, I'd just be like, the reason why she really wanted to cut meat out was because, like, when an animal goes to like a slaughterhouse, I guess, or whatever happens, they get scared right before they get killed, and it lets this chemical out into their body, and then we eat that, and it kind of carries the feeling from what they felt to what we're eating, and so it's there somewhere deep down, and so she wanted to eliminate that a little bit.
Yeah, I heard that shit too. I still that wasn't the reason I went vegan. That was it was like, when an animal gets killed, it's like it releases this certain kind of chemical. I'm like, yeah, that shit's called fear. That's what that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't feel like that was the only thing. I think it was like also subconsciously. It's just you. I don't know. It like after you eat meat, sometimes you just feel like so heavy and like
it's true.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like you feel the fear or the sadness or whatever they went through or anything like that, but I know that you feel heavy. So when you say when you felt light during vegan, yeah, I totally get that because that's what it felt like. It didn't feel like you were putting this heavy food in there that takes like days to digest.
Did y'all always eat did y'all eat a lot of beef too? Did y'all eat a lot of beef or was it like
yeah, we ate a lot of beef,
we do eat
chicken,
a lot of beef,
and then sometimes fish, but we wanted to do a more plant-based food, like kind of not vegan, but like plant-based with a little bit of fish and maybe some chicken.
Yeah, I really need to cut dairy out. Dairy is a huge problem for me.
So I remember because I didn't eat a lot of beef. I remember we ate like because of my family, we switched to ground turkey. That was like a big thing because beef like kind of weighs heavy on you and stuff, but then we still eat like pork and stuff. But I'm like, my dad like loves bacon. I'm like, I don't care for bacon like too much because like especially like bacon like with like with breakfast. And I'm like,
I love
man,
bacon.
give me I prefer sausage because it's like it's more. It's like because I'm also growing up too. Kids can have bacon, but we only had enough sausage for like the adults. Like so that was always like
so you're like deprived. You're kind of deprived of it.
So I always prefer sausage over bacon. And then after stop being vegan and kind of go back, like bacon is still hard for me to like digest. Like it's to be like I'm like, oh, this is like extra greasy or whatever. And so like I always prefer sausage. I remember even sausage like when like it took me a while for my body just to get used to. I was like, oh, this makes sense. It's salty. So so that was like the two things that I missed out on. And so like so eating a lot of turkey or like chicken, and then that never really felt super heavy on me. So then going eat vegan and then feeling even lighter. I'm like, that's a crazier transition. I'm like, oh, I felt light eating like ground turkey and chicken. Now I feel even lighter just like being plant based. I was like, well, I'm just over here just like floating. Like I'm like over here. So yeah.
I could picture going to breakfast with you and then you order your plate and they go, do you want bacon or sausage? You go, I ain't no kid, I want sausage.
Yeah. Because I never get that because the bacon that they give you at a it'd be
it's terrible.
Slim and shit. Like, no, give me that sausage, yo. What are you doing?
The restaurant bacon is terrible.
Yeah. So that's especially why I really don't get. And then also at what is it? I'm trying to think of like when I used to order. What would I get? Because it'd be like I would give my sausage away, or like can I get hash browns instead of or I will ask for meat substitutes. Like, hey, I'm vegan, so I don't eat like meat. Can I get like hash browns and country fried potatoes or stuff like that? And the one thing, so y'all weakness for y'all was what was it? Was cheese. My weakness was eggs. Like I love eggs. I love eggs. Eggs is like a cheap, especially because I was vegan like in college. So eggs was always like a cheap, quick meal I could make. Like if I went home and I was like kind of faded, instead of going to buy something, and also I was kind of broke. Oh shit, I got eggs at home. Make some eggs. I go home, make quick eggs. So like when you fade it, like it's immediate. It'll take me about like I just gotta warm up the stove and then like make it in like as good in about like 5 minutes. So like that was like a quick little thing. I just be like they're eating, and then I go to sleep, and it's like light on your stomach too. So that was like another good thing. But yeah, so eggs was something that I missed. And so sometimes I'll go out. My mom was like, "You want eggs?" And I'm like, "I be looking." And I'm like, "This might upset my stomach." And I was like, so then I had to look at certain stuff like, and I would replace. I had so many different replacements. I'd be like, "So can I get fruit? Can I get bread?" And then so sometimes I would just order the pancakes. I was like, because the pancakes is cool, and then just like have the syrup, and then because you can't have the butter and stuff. And then sometimes I'm like, I would cheat because I'm just like, it's butter. I was like, I'm not, or like the butter would already be there. Like, oh no, my bad, you vegan. I was like, that's all right. Like I'm not. It tastes better with it anyway. So it'd be like little stuff here and there that like I wasn't super serious. I wasn't super serious about every dairy thing because it used to be like so hard to take certain out, like or certain things like. So I'll let little stuff like that slide. But when it came to meat stuff, like usually I never eat stuff with meat on it. And then like cheese was like another one. Like I would eat pizza, but then I noticed like well, I didn't have a lot of dairy while I was vegan, and every time I would have pizza because vegan cheese is disgusting, I kept trying it. I'm like, this ain't working. My face used to peel. I noticed that like yeah, my face, my nose would peel, and then like right here on my cheeks it will peel, and I was like, that's the dairy. That's me having dairy. It's on your face because I learned in high school dairy breaks you out. Like it gives you acne. And I used to wonder why I always used to get acne, but I ate a bowl of cereal every morning for breakfast. So the milk was like making my acne worse. Like I had acne fighting stuff, and then I'm just making it worse by having a bowl of cereal. And it was like, what do you have breakfast? I have a bowl of cereal every day. They was like, oh, milk. It's like, what? It's like milk is dairy. Dairy breaks you out.
Wow,
I was like,
crazy.
oh shit. I was like, God damn. Cereal over here. So yeah, I'd switch that up. So yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, it sounds like you developed a lot of like discipline from your football days. It kind of went into the veganism. Did it also help with your comedy eventually, besides being a quote unquote lazy writer?
Oh, so yeah. Well, I'll say this: the comedy helped me avoid serious depression when it comes to not making it in football. Like I say, the love of comedy replaced my love of football, even so much so in my subconscious now. Like every time, like football was a hard thing to kind of like realize that I'm not playing no more, and I watch like a fuck ton of football all the time. So it's still kind of like, oh, I'm like, nah, I'm not football. I'm like, nah, I don't do football no more, right? So even it took a while for me subconsciously to get over the fact I'm not playing football. Like every time I would see a random open field, like you could build a football stadium right here, building right there, like turf, like going like anytime I see a field, like I drive from the Bay to Sacramento all the time, and there's this pot of land in Vacaville that I drive past, and it's like across the freeway. They have all these like it's like a plaza, but right on the other side, it's like this open land. I'm like, the Raiders could have built their stadium right here. It's a ton of space. You got all that shit. You could have pushed all that stuff back, closed off the road, and they could have a whole ass stadium right here in this pot. I say it every time I drive past there. But I remember it used to be bad where I used to see like drive to like Fresno. I'm like football field, school, like all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't until probably like the last 5 years. Then now I walk into a bar and I'm like, we could have a comedy show here. Or we could have a comedy space here. Like that mindset changed. And then I realized, because I took like psychology and sociology classes, I was like, oh shit, my subconscious finally got over not being able to play football. Now my subconscious even thinks like comedy as well. So I was like, oh shit, that's a turn. Like this is like 2017. It's like 2017 when it started happening. And I was like, oh shit, oh damn. And I remember I stopped playing football in 2010. So it took a minute.
It took a while.
It took a minute for my subconscious to realize that too. So yeah, it's a trip. And then disciplines with comedy that I learned from stand up. Yeah, I mean from football that I learned from stand up. Is practicing a lot, like hitting open mics, treating it the same way. Like I gotta go to practice. Like that was kind of a thing. Like I was big on practice because like if you practice, you always, just get better. Like just doing it, even if it's like you get one practice session, like one mic a week or two mics a week, or like just two in a day or something. That always like helps because you're up there and say like, well, it's just five. It's like you said it's only 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, but that 5 minutes, something could happen with it. You can develop new tags, or like I do a lot of in the moment like improv on stuff. And I always feel like I come up with like newer jokes or newer tags when I'm just like working with stuff, or people laugh at a certain way and I add stuff to it in the moment. So that's always like a good thing because with football you practice 5 days a week, 5 to 6 days a week, and then you had a game on 5 days. You had a game on Saturday. So like doing the same amount with comedy. Sometimes you do 4 to 5 days of open mics and you got a show. You usually go about a show like I like a headline. So usually if I have a headlining show like on a Friday or a Saturday, I want to at least get 3 or 4 mics that week. So usually 3 to 4 days of mics because I tried going like one mic and that's not good, or like 2 mics. Usually like 3 is like the key. But if like I can do like 3 on a Monday, I'm like, okay, I'm setting myself up good, and then might try to do 1 on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, or try to do 2 on the Wednesday, 1 on the Thursday, and by the time Friday come, I'm like, I got the juices rolling, and I'm already good. Versus like I've noticed a few times I've done 1 or none. Usually the first 5 to 7 minutes, it's kind of rusty. Like I'm not gonna rust off while doing it. And it's like good, but it's like I'm not as sharp. I'm not as like quick with it. I'm not as kind of I'm getting like myself back in the juices. So that's like a thing.
I feel the same for me. I'm a momentum comic. I have to bomb once or twice at open mics before I can do good at a show.
Yeah.
Just get it out of the way.
Feeling, get that bomb out of the way.
The fear of bombing, get it out of the way by doing it, I guess.
Absolutely. So Corde, you're kind of blowing up. You're everywhere these days. Yeah, it's super awesome. I see all these shows, and you're always on all these awesome shows and everything. Yeah. So just how's comedy going for you, and how's everything? How's life?
Comedy's going pretty well, actually. It's super dope. I actually kind of wanted to like roll up even more. Like the next step I think is buying a good camera, and I actually have a camera. I just need to start recording more and then posting the clip shit, and then try to blow up on social media or just have that start going viral. But I'm pissed because this you should always post on social media, but you shouldn't always comment on people things because a few different times like I was on people stuff like they always say don't talk about religion and politics, but anytime somebody would try to say Trump was doing better than Biden or any of the Republicans, I'm just like, no, they was not. Like, stop this dumb stuff. I don't know y'all political origins, but like I'll break it down like this. So in college, the 2 things I studied was sociology and Black studies. So I learned about how certain, especially the Republican Party, even Democrats too, during the 90s, adopted Republican tactics to win the election. That's why Bill Clinton was so hard on like the 3-strike rule and all this kind of stuff, because they was losing by a landslide. So they started adopting Republican stuff because they were too lenient on crime. So then they went super hard on crime to win the election because they kept losing and stuff like that. So a lot of these principles that was put in by Republicans, stuff like that, I like don't like a lot. So I argue with people all the time, like especially like you guys are Latino, so I hate when like Latinos argue for Trump. I'm like, are you stupid? Like they kicking you out. They're kind of doing this kind of stuff. They all this other things. I'm like, why would you fight? And then also they said they only bring the rapists here. Like you voted for the dude clearly called y'all rape. Like I don't get it. Like how to or like other dumbass people like Candace Owens, I hate with a passion because she say Democrats are bad or Democrats are like this. And I know like people spill wherein like they try to convert people to being Republican. Like they talk about Lincoln, freed the slaves. The Republican Party was this. The Republican Party did all this stuff for slaves. Like liberals was the one who was anti Black people and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, cool. I got you. So so they did all this kind of stuff, but why did they stop after a while? Because they'll tell you all this history about the Republican Party, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they'll stop around 1965 or the mid 60s. But you know why they stopped talking about Republican Party and how good they did for black people?
Did the party switch?
The party switched, and the civil rights movement happened in the 60s. So they'll tell you everything that the Republican Party did for black people up until the 60s. That's when the civil rights movement happened. And it literally switched everything. And Republicans literally preyed on white people's fear because as civil rights was happening, as other races was getting rights, the Republican Party switched and was now becoming what they are now. And liberals and the Democrat Party became what we know now. And then Republicans preyed on white fear and saying that all these other races are getting all the benefits that you aren't doing, even though they shouldn't be getting this. And so all the people who were Democrats during the 60s started assimilating towards the right side and start being like, that's how they started winning the Bible Belt. They would say, you see all this stuff that they're getting and stuff, and then you're not getting, then they're coming for your jobs, and they're trying to take your land and try to do. I'm like, all right, so having a history and knowledge of that kind of stuff, I can sift through like all this bullshit that they prop up and all this propaganda you try to put it from. I'm like, nah, like I won't say Biden's doing like he's doing a better job than what Trump, because Trump was just sending this like always like about to send us into like a world war with somebody and all this kind of stuff. So it was like really becoming bad for like the US, and really like I feel like Trump was on a kind of like a separatist, like he wanted to eliminate the middle. My mom always talks like I feel like he wanted to eliminate the middle class. We just have like billionaires and just a working class, and the middle class will be virtually like eliminated. And then like the vaccine stuff, like which is really I was super pissed about, because vaccine or COVID, like how we said COVID wasn't real. And I had COVID twice, even like being cautious and stuff. And I'm like, yo, no, this shit is killing people. Like this is a serious disease that we're not. And then I want to like add to it, like make jokes about it because I'm a comedian. I'm like, when was the last time they shut the NBA down?
Yep.
For 6 months,
right?
Or like when was the last time they shut college basketball or college football down?
Yep.
They even got to pay them. Why would they shut them down? They got to pay. They shut down Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. Las Vegas ain't never shut down for nothing.
Right.
Like you got to look at certain shit like that. Like shit. Like fuck all like if you believe this real, if this wasn't real, let's think about how bad this was. When the last time Vegas shut down?
Yeah.
Like people get killed in Vegas, and they keep on going.
Yeah, they did.
They did. They had that big mass shooting, and the next day it was business as usual.
Business as usual. I'm like, what's the last time Vegas just shut down? Like, let's think. Like, fuck parties. This how this is serious. I was like, the NFL stopped. Players get hurt all the time. They don't stop shit like that. Like, basketball stopped.
Yeah.
They didn't know what, like all this stuff. Like, let's be realistic.
Yeah.
This shit stops. like an agenda. No, they shut shit down. Yeah. Like, also, I was like, we got to work from home. You know how long you've been trying to convince your boss you can be productive at home as you are at work? You got that option. You stayed home. Like freeways was clear. There was no traffic. What? Like all this stuff that kind of like just if you think about it logistically, you like, okay, this shit was real. Like that was like something seriously bad. And like I didn't like how he handled like during like the presidency and saying, and then the biggest, I didn't talk about some of this stuff more, but I feel like it's getting kind of outdated. Like Trump said he beat COVID in 4 days. He had the fastest recovery out of anybody, or he beat it in 3 days. You mean to tell me a fat, overweight dude in his 70s beat COVID? But NFL athletes who got 6-packs couldn't? Like, come on now. Like, what we talking about now? Or I always hate when people saying, like, oh, I'm not getting vaccinated because it was like a big thing. I'm not getting vaccinated. I'm just going to live a healthy lifestyle and I should be good. And I'm like, healthy lifestyle? Really? I'm like, there was motherfuckers in the Olympics getting COVID. and who live more of a healthy lifestyle than them. And I was like, I ain't talking about the people who be throwing shit, the fat people who will be throwing stuff. I'm talking about the track runners. You know how good of a shape they are in? You can see they 6-pack through their jackets. That's how good of a shape they in. You mean to tell me you live more of a healthier lifestyle than them? Like you can see them. I was like, and then they win the race and they 6-packers just breathing. They 6-packers. That motherfucker got COVID and you supposed to live a healthy lifestyle. You can't be healthier than them. You can't be healthier than them. They work at facilities to train year round. You can't, so little stupid shit like that is what I like to talk about. What was we talking about? I forgot. I got way off track.
I don't know.
I was talking about Instagram. Comment on Instagram.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go on Instagram. Comments on Instagram. So a few different times I'm arguing with people because I get super passionate about this stuff, because I argue from a standpoint of these aren't opinions. I've studied this stuff and I can critical think. And these are coming from facts on books I've read about racism in America, policy in America, white fear, which is something that white people fall for every single year. Like even black people fall for white fear, or fear that they do. It's fear tactics where when a political party or any party or not even a political party, let's say police was saying all these new laws was going to affect in the year 2023. So we need to watch what we're doing. Can you believe this is being passed? And I was like, they're saying that as they're losing funding for fucking up all the time. That's what happens. Police will put out there, or certain counties will put out there, all these new laws are going into effect in the new year, but they'll never tell you what county is going into effect, what state is going to affect. They'll say it as a overall thing, so you think the whole country is going to affect, and it might be some small ass county in the middle of Texas or some place in Boise, Idaho, or Delaware, where those laws are going to affect, but they'll just tell you it's going to affect, and you think, oh shit, this is going to affect throughout the whole country. Oh my God, we need to do something about this. And I was like, nah, that's not what happened, but people fall for it. Yeah. So I argue with people. I argue with people, and then I'm like, I kind of, you get heated. So I might say something like, you stupid person or something like that, or you hella ignorant, or, and, sometimes words like that are being flagged, especially on controversial topics. But I'm like, the algorithm made it pop up still in my feed or whatever, because when the voting and all the Trump shit was happening, something about it being a negative thing will pop up in my Facebook. And it was like, oh, you might want to see shit like that. And the cool thing about it I liked was that I didn't like it, but the cool thing I found out about it was I know people's certain agendas. Okay, not following you no more. Really don't know you. Or damn, yo. I know a black comic who was super pro-Trump. Broke my heart. And I'm just and so I'm saying funny stuff. Oh, snap, Biden won. No, we got to do a recount. And I'm like, oh, you serious about this? I was like, Trump a fuck up. It was no. And I was see, so this is what Republicans do. Republicans blame everything on Democrats and not take no accountability of what they've done. They'll be like, well, the reason why this is happening is because Democrats won't allow. No, this is your policy. Tell me about your policy. So the reason why our policy is this bad because Democrats did. I'm no, you created this policy. It got passed. Why is this happening? Well, because or they just won't answer. That's a strategy thing. Instead of being if they're in a court, instead of being brought up on lies, they'll immediately say, I don't know. They'll deflect and insult a person, what they're wearing, to get you off topic. Yeah. Or 3, they'll just remain quiet and kind of just stutter there, looking dumb. Or I can't recall. What was the question again? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Or they'll just repeat something that has nothing to do with the question. They're like, hey, Senator, I really appreciate you for calling on me. I appreciate everyone being here. It's super great that you guys have me here in front of you. Me and my other colleagues are happy to be here in the courthouse. And then we're just trying to I'm glad you brought this to attention, because this is something important that we need to talk about. And they just keep talking, but they won't address anything. And it's all strategy just to fill air. Yeah, they just built like empty words. They just send out a ton of empty air, empty words, and then they'll be brought up like, okay, answer the question. Like, sorry, my bad. I'm trying to get to the question, but or they'll start doing argument. Like, I'm trying to get to the question, but you keep interrupting me, and I can't get to exactly what the question is. But if you're going to just keep interrupting me, I can't get to the question. I want to answer the question you want to have. I want to get to the problem. We need to get to the problem in this country and talk about. But they're never like kind of do shit like that. So it's like hella funny. So before I wanted to go into comedy, I wanted to become a lawyer. So that's why I was trying to fight. But like, yeah. So that's why like I see. I'm like, what the? I'm like, oh my! Like, dude, I know these tactics. I know these dumbass tactics. You can't be caught lying on the stand. So instead of lying on the stand, if I say I don't know or I don't recall, I'm not sure. I'm not aware. Or you say words like you say you say words that won't file you liable in court. I don't recall. I'm not sure.
They kind of take they take the onus. You don't own it. You don't own it.
Yeah,
they take that away.
Yeah, so it's like instead of saying yeah, because if you don't say yes or no, that didn't happen or something like that. It takes the onus away from you, you know, like because you can't recall. You can't determine if somebody can recall this. You can't tell someone if they remember this or not because you don't know their like. So it's like I'm not sure. I don't recall. I'm not too familiar with that. Are you not too familiar with this? Like, no, I'm not. Like, well, I don't recall doing that. Like, I'm not sure about it. So and then now it's you're going to court on their memory. Like, do you know? Like, how do you know did they remember this or not? Like, how you know? Yeah. So it's all you're decriminalizing yourself by doing this. So basically, fast forward to I was commenting on people and I was going kind of in, and then certain idiots or dumb stuff I got flagged and my views. I was like, oh, you said something to go against community standards, right? But then literally, the wording I say and the wording somebody else say might be racist, or they might insult me like, oh, well, because you're this, you don't understand stuff. Well, what you mean I don't understand? Like, you know, so they'll say like, oh, because you're this, you don't comprehend. Like, what you trying to say because I'm black? I'm like, I'm stupid? Like, what do you mean? And then like, so I'll go in, I'm like, this is the dumb stuff that Republicans say. And then like, it'll be like, oh, you're calling Republicans dumb, flags. Like, what? This fool said, like, he said like, oh, because I'm this, you know. And then Instagram is messed up because when you appeal, they say, did we make a mistake? Instead of saying like, they'll just say like, did we make a mistake saying this thing is flagged? And like, it's really an argument like, no, this is what I meant when I said this. And then the comment, and then instead of they flag you, but instead of flagging the person who you're responding to, they just flag you and start taking stuff away. And that's what I hate. Like my players got flagged a few different times, so my views went down hella much, and I'm pissed about that. So I want to try to put out more clips and stuff. Yeah, so literally, it's like, what happened? It really happens when you like trying to stop bullying. Kind of the funny thing about it, like you get flagged for trying to stop bullying, because their language is more coded than what yours is. Just straight up calling somebody dumb, like flag, stupid flag. And versus like they say, well, you don't understand because you didn't say stupid, because they didn't say stupid. You get flagged because like I'm not stupid or you stupid or whatever. You're considered as flagged because you're calling somebody stupid. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So
I see a lot on Facebook too, where the person that's defending themselves will get flagged.
Yeah, and it's like it's dumb as hell. Like I remember, it was super funny. Like this chick, I remember. What was the black dude who was running for governor recently? Like the black Republican dude who was backed by like all these Trump supporters, stuff like that.
Oh, I remember. I don't remember his name though. Yeah, I do remember that.
She was on my page defending him and said we should vote for him and stuff like that. And she's like, you should vote for him because he's like a black leader. I was like, man, it's so. I was like, no, this dude. I was like, I see this one black dude surrounded by all these white Republican people. I'm not gonna support him. Like this is black. Like I know what y'all doing. Y'all gonna put this black figurehead and give him all these black ideals and try to say you should support him because he was black. Like, no, black people aren't dumb. Just because you put a black person up there don't mean we're gonna support him. Because you'd be like, this motherfucker don't know what the fuck he talking about. You know, because we're, you know, like, oh, he's black, so they'll vote for him because he's black. Like, no, we vote for people who actually
get the
have
black
our
vote.
interests. Yeah, like so she was on my page commenting, and like people was calling her stupid, going in. Also, very attractive white lady, but comes from like a place of privilege. I think her husband is old, so that's like a funny thing about it because she looks like in her 40s, but then her husband is like in his upper 60s and 70s. Like, oh, I know what type of you like. Oh, you and her husband owns a restaurant, a very fancy winery restaurant that she's kind of, and I think she was like the trophy wife of his, and then she's like, oh, I have to go and like work for the first time and like all this kind of dumb stuff. It's like, I used to be a Trump supporter until he got vaccinated. I can't support that. And I'm like, what? Damn. And so she had this comment that like she had made this comment of just dumb, ignorant stuff on my post one time, and then people went in. It was like 70 comments, right? Because like it was like, you stupid privileged woman, like you can't even like understand like how privileged, like, which I work hard every day, and it was like, I know your husband, you don't work hard, you stay at home. Like she was like, and then somebody was going bringing up other screenshots. She was like, you work hard. It says right here that you had to finally stop being a housewife and working for the first time in years. So how long you been working? Like, so it was, people was going in, and then she was like, get off my page. You guys need to get off my page and stop making and somebody. So I came in. I was like, first off, you commented on my page, on my post. And it was like, you see how dumb she is? She think we commented on her page when she came here and brought that nonsense. It was hilarious. So I just sat back and just watched it. So little stuff like that.
That is crazy.
Yeah, let's get back to comedy. So what I want to do, is I want to travel more. I want to do more comedy. But like, it's funny how I wrap this all up. I want to travel more. I want to do more comedy. I want to get more social media posts about comedy. Right now, I post like a lot of daily clips about a bunch of reels that I do daily. I use green screen behind me to do it. And I was doing a lot better now. So now I'm going to try to have to figure out something new. Like I might do side-by-side stuff and just like a few other things to figure it out, because I used to average between 4,500 and 7,500 views.
Oh wow.
And then and then it was getting up to like sometimes some videos will go like to 10,000, 12,000, and then I was like on the lighter side, and then other times like I've got 15,000 off this one thing, or I got like 18,000, or it'll be like still be growing like over time. Now I'm down. Sometimes when I post something, it might get like 1,000 views. So that's how I know Instagram like stepped on my algorithm or stuff like that. So I got to figure a way to get it back up. I'm like, damn, yo, I'm like 1,000, barely getting 1,000 views within a day. Like I posted in the morning.
This guy's problematic. Let's stifle his views.
Gross.
Yeah. So it was like, I went from I'm problematic for stopping other people from bullying. But
exactly. You're problematic because you talk shit to the Republicans.
Yeah, exactly. So it's super crazy because I remember I'll get like a bunch of comments on some stuff, and they're like, bro, this stupid as hella funny, yada yada, a bunch of other stuff, but then the views won't be there, and I'm like pissed because I was like, bro, like this used to have like more views. Like, what do I do to get this back up? This kind of sucks. And so I'm just like, so I had to constantly figure that out. And then my homie said, just keep posting, bro. You never know which one's gonna go viral. But I'm like, yeah, but I feel like this is also like, yeah, exactly. If they let it go viral. Because I remember one time I posted, because I've been posting about the Raiders. I talk shit about the Raiders all the time. And it's funny because it's like, I just like talk shit to Raiders fans and Niners fans too. Because like I remember, Trey Lance was the quarterback, right? And everybody was like, Trey Lance ain't the dude. Even black people saying this too, which is like crazy to me. I'm like, stop. I'm like, why do y'all love Jimmy G so much? Is it because he attractive? Like, is it because he fucked a porn star? Why is this? Like, like, do he got clout? Because like Jimmy G is a very average quarterback who has greatness around him, right? Yeah. So I'm just like, why are y'all like supporting this dude? I'm like Trey Lance ain't. I'm like, this dude started 2 games. You don't know how good this dude can be. Man started 2 games. So I'm like, but you saying Jimmy G is the guy, we need to go with Jimmy G. And then Jimmy G plays good, but then every time he gets to the playoffs, he just like unfolds and just makes the mistakes. Now the kid Brock Purdy comes in, and he's looking even better than Jimmy G. I'm like, it shows that Shanahan's offense, you can do well in it. You can do great. Brock Purdy was like a late round pick, and he's got all his talent. Look how well he's playing. So I be trolling Niner fans like, damn, this offense looked pretty good, man. I don't know if Jimmy could ever do this, you know? And like, dang, what a nice pass that Purdy just threw. Jimmy G could never, like, in all this like little type of stuff. And it was like, hey, bro, why you bringing up Jimmy G all the time? Like, why you a hater? Like, I'm not a hater. Y'all just was just ridiculously talking about how good Jimmy G was, and he really wasn't. Like, I remember, what was it? I did a Facebook post, and I was like, Jimmy G throws the prettiest interceptions I ever seen. It was
Oh man, he throws so many interceptions though.
So many interceptions.
He
That'd be
does.
like super crazy. So yeah.
He's the best player on the other team.
Oh dang.
Yeah.
Do you have any projects coming up that you're working on or anything?
So I'll say I'm not working on any projects in particular, but I'm trying to work on a new 30 minutes that so I tried to record like a special last year, but then audio got messed up. So I'm in the process of trying to like, all right, try to re-record this and like try to put it somewhere, like try to redo it somewhere where a lot of people who came didn't see it and like got like newer audience kind of stuff to like have it pushed out, and then try to work on like a new 30 minutes that I've written and it's doing pretty good, and then also have like this other 15 minutes of like other stuff that I kind of like was writing and doing and stuff, but I haven't like fully put into a set, and then like that's a new 45 that I can do. So that's the main thing I've been doing and working on, because I feel like you always want to have like new material.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then maybe like if I perfect it and get it cool, like and tight and nipped, and like maybe try to by the fall, maybe try to see if I can record it, see how good it's getting, try to put out like a little like special with that, or like audio or something. Because like specials is like I still want to put one out, have it on Amazon. Specials like the thing, like, you know, I see everybody doing these specials, like audio specials, or like I got a Netflix special, or, you know, just put a YouTube special out and clip that bitch up, clip it up really good, you know, just have it post, and like so like right now, so my social media, Instagram, like Instagram's been messing me up, but now I be posting tons on TikTok. Like I think after you see it, like we follow each other on TikTok, and then like so I remember I started following like a ton of people, but now I post daily and all kind of stuff, and so then try to figure out how to go more viral on there, but also just post daily stuff. And then I'm doing that on YouTube. I'm building my YouTube up where I like how YouTube, you can just put it in, you can post, like choose the day you post. So I have, so I think it was December 28th, I made like a ton of videos and just started posting them and putting dates on all my videos on YouTube up till January 25th. So I'm dropping like 30-second shorts on there till January 25th, and then I'm probably about to do another. Yeah. So, and then so I'm trying to right. It's smart, because then I'm like, I'm so far ahead. I'm like, is it? Yep, it dropped again. Yep, it dropped again. So, and then
it's like you have it working for you.
Exactly. Yeah. And then so I'm start recording like a few more, because I just talk about memes, because this is how funny shit you see, and you just like, I just get my like immediate reaction, and then I'm gonna just keep that energy and just keep doing it with that, and then just keep getting subscribers on there, and then probably do some other stuff. So that's like, I'm working on doing multiple social media sites instead of just depending on one, to have like all of it kind of. And then merch, I always like try to come with new merch. Is super dope. Like my whole what is it? Can you see it? Yeah, my big beautiful forehead stickers right there. Yeah, it's all little stickers. Because I sold out of my shirts. I sold out of my
big beautiful forehead.
Yeah, big beautiful forehead shirts.
I like it.
Yeah, so I sold out of those. So I'm re-upping on merch right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I have
that's
like
awesome.
And then I have like another one, because like my saying is Corde made your day. I have a new shirt coming out that says that with a Gatorade logo. So it's like the Gatorade colors and stuff. So that's like my newest shirt. And then like, just keep thinking of merch ideas, keep thinking about topical humor, and like dating is always a big one. Like I don't want to share this one, because like literally like I was talking about this one idea, and then literally like a comic like took it and like made it into one of the jokes. I'm like, wow. And it does well, but I know why it does well, because I was talking about it. Like I'm like, so we gotta remix it, and we gotta, because you know, so the topic is y'all cool, so I fuck it. The topic is the topic is it was dating, but then also talk about sex. And like you always hear like women comedians or just comedian like talking about how men are good at sex. And I'm just like, really? We aren't good at sex, but y'all think y'all perfect out here. So it's to flip the head on like, or you start talking about certain stuff like women say men aren't good at sex or they had sex with a dude and it wasn't good, but we all know a woman in here who dude ain't shit and the only good thing about him is his sex game. So like, what are we talking about? Or it's the fact that men, no matter how much shit we talk, how much women talk shit about us being not good at sex, we never tell them how bad they actually are at it. Like, you know, like like you ask a girl like, excuse me, I'm like, you know, hey, you good at head? She's like, well, I haven't had no complaints. And I'm like, so yes or no question. Like, yo, I ain't no complaints wasn't the answer, you know. And then if you had no complaints, you
that
know,
is what
you
people
probably
say
are good
too. That's what people say. Yeah, no complaints.
Like dude, yeah. And then I'm like, dudes will run through like bad sex or bad stuff that a woman do. I'm like women give some of the worst hand jobs, and I'm like, it's weird as hell because women have like some of the softest and smallest hands, but hurt the shit out of your dick when they jerking you off with it. I'm like, God damn, like my hand is rough and I'm softer on my dick than you are, like kind of a thing. And then, or I talk about like how some women say dudes aren't good at sex, but really it's two positions that chicks do is missionary and doggy style. In both positions, you do nothing. One, you just lay there on your back and like, you know, don't participate. Or another one, you just on your knees like this. And I'm not good because you're not participating. Like, what the, like, how is that, you know? Like it makes no sense. I was like how dudes not good at sex when you're literally doing nothing? Like what? Like how? Like I don't get like I'm not good. You ain't good. You just sat there the whole time. You didn't tell me. You didn't give me you know no instructions or anything. So which is cool. Which is like funny. But then the other guy talks about like having instructions and like all this kind of stuff. I'm like, man, you got this whole idea from me because I said it. I'm like. It's kind of well, we'll talk about it off here when we stop recording. Right. But yeah, so it's
That's cool, man. That's cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been super fun.
Yeah,
no problem, man. No problem. Anytime.
Want to plug your social media?
Absolutely. So Corde Snell on Facebook, Corde Made Your Day on Instagram and TikTok. So that's Corde CORDEMADE. YO Day, and then Twitter is Corde Made YR Day because I was thinking your instead of yo. Dumb. Like, it's like Corde Made Your Day, so YR. I was like, I should have put yo, and then because of Twitter, you can't go back and switch it. I just want to switch one thing. So it's like annoying as fuck. So. But yeah, I'm like, yeah. And then so follow my YouTube too. It's Corde Snell on YouTube.
Yeah, check that out.
All my social medias. The clips get daily content from me. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
You can follow me everywhere across the board at Funky Sam Medina.
And I'm at She Shines For You. And if you're on TikTok to find Corde, find me at Atheners.
Yeah, Atheners. Same Funky Sam Medina. And everything else we do is at Hypothetical Comedy.
Yep.
Hell yeah.